Okay, hello there, friends, and welcome to another Tim Kirby Russia live stream. We're going to talk about something extremely important for everyone who wants to move to Russia. So today's specific topic is going to be about a new opportunity, big opportunities that have happened for everyone who is in the process of moving to Russia and everyone who wants to move to Russia. Okay, and this is in connection to my two recent visits to the state Duma. It's all interconnected, baby, as they say. So, anyways, but while we're waiting for some people to show up so they actually hear the message live, let me just talk about what's kind of happening behind me. As you guys know, I do a lot of voice acting work, and I'm trying to convert my space here, which was never very good for audio. This microphone, which you can almost see, but not quite over here. I mean, this isn't like a $2,000 microphone, but it's more like, oh boy, how much did this thing cost? $500 or something? So anyways, it's a pretty nice microphone, and it gives a really nice sound, but when you have kind of bare walls, yeah, the sound isn't that great no matter what your microphone is. So we've got some enhancement going on. I also kind of like the mood of this better. Maybe in the future I'll add some lighting and stuff. But so anyways, Kirby Studios is changing. And let me know in the comments if you actually can hear a difference. Although this signal going over Telegram gets really compressed. So maybe even if there was an audio difference, you wouldn't hear it. But so anyways, that explains the background. Nothing has changed. Nothing at all. Just the things behind me. So anyways, guys, as are the rules, today I kind of have a bit of a long spiel. So after it's over, we can all do the raise our hand feature and we can have call-ins because why not? That's part of the point of doing a live show. And anyone who wants to can comment pretty much anywhere on the Tim Kirby Russia Hardcore channel. But the best place to comment by far would be under the picture that says Telegram live stream starts in 30 minutes. Because if you comment under there, I will definitely find your comment and it will be amazing. Yeah, and I'll be able to answer your questions as we go along. Okay, well, we've got some people here. I think this channel is growing well. We're up to 7,232 people. Although, unfortunately, although we grow, every day there seems to be kind of like a minus. It's kind of like going up and then down and then up and then down. I was told by one group of people that this is the shadow ban, and that's when I kind of released an image that we might be getting shadow banned, because this seems to be mostly happening to the people I know who do more political stuff. But I could be wrong. Maybe I'm just imagining things. A different group of people told me that with Telegram, if someone sort of got excited about Tim Kirby Russia and then didn't really actually use it, as in like view the content or react to anything over a 6-month process, that person unsubscribes automatically. So maybe that's what's happening. You know, the channel is kind of about, a year old or something. So I guess that kind of makes sense, but I don't know. But thankfully, our growth is exceeding our losses, and who knows? Maybe we'll even get up to 10,000 people one of these days. So I was just on Scott Ritter, and unfortunately, the address that was put up there was wrong. It was my personal address, not the channel address, but so some of you may have found me through Scott Ritter, so thank you for being patient because you actually found this channel via the wrong address. Now, let's talk about these journeys to the State Duma, because that's what I think is going to be most interesting to most of you who are watching right now. So what happened? Let's do backstory, and then let's actually get into the important part for you. So the backstory is this. I was invited to participate in sort of a big discussion group that was about immigration to here. What are the problems, whether it's good or bad, easy or difficult, so on and so forth, and take a look at like what's the deal with the immigration laws. This was all organized by the Spravedlivaya Russia Party, which is sometimes called the Fair Russia Party, sometimes called the Just Russia Party, because in Russian that word means both fair and just at the same time. So anyways, that's the party that's behind it, and the specific person behind it is Dmitry Vadimovich Kuznetsov. If you want to look him up, you can look him up. So anyways, Dmitry Vadimovich kind of put together this event, and everyone got together and gave talks. I believe on this channel, I kind of got into that earlier, because I think I actually I went through basically my presentation to explain what I talked about. So if you're listening now, you can go back and watch that. I did it as a live stream. But long story short, I talked about all the problems with immigration that a lot of you have been writing to me about. And after this, the people in the party put together basically like a committee for the it was already a committee within the state Duma, but now there's like a subcommittee, I guess would be the American way of saying it, to deal with these sorts of issues. And so from this point on, we actually have people within the state Duma who are willing to and have kind of put together this pipeline. I like the term pipeline. You could say conveyor belt or maybe assembly line, or Henry Ford's assembly line that he had. I think in Russian that's something like Linia Forda or something, that his specific conveyor belt. But anyways, we have this set of mechanisms to actually try to help people out. Now, we're going to get into some important nuances. So we have a committee that I'm a part of, and trust me, I'm definitely not the most important person there. There's some people who are going to be much more in the nitty-gritty of it. But people who are in a committee that want to help people move to Russia and deal with their problems. Now, there's some important things to understand about this. Number one, that I know I know no matter how many times I say it during this video, people are going to get confused. This is not connected to the whole American villages thing. That is the Moscow regional government, the Moscow region, not Moscow the city. That unfortunately keeps going silent. I cannot get any information from them. But what's happening here is neither a boon or a bust for the village. It's neither good nor bad. It's completely separate, okay? So if you were someone who was like, Tim, I gave you a scan of my passport and I want to join the American village, this whole like helping people move here thing, it neither, maybe in a one way it might help you get to the village when it opens eventually, but it's not connected in any way, okay? So that's number one thing to understand. Now, this committee can help two groups of people. Who both of these groups of people, what unites them is they are Western foreigners who want to move to Russia. Okay, that's the uniting thing. Now, the first group are people who are sort of already here and are facing a lot of problems. I've heard from multiple people that it seems as though almost on purpose, the U.S. government, if you tell them you need a criminal background check to immigrate to Russia, they make it so that background check comes here real slow. And as the laws stand today, the background check has to be less than 90 days old when you file. And so a lot of people have been stuck in this scary situation where by the time they get this criminal background check, well, they can't even use it. And then what happens? Their visas are running out, and maybe they would have to leave Russia and come back and go through all this nightmare. So if that's kind of like one of the biggest, most widespread things happening. But if you're one of these people and this is happening to you, or any sort of immigration problem that's happening to you while you're already here, so you're already in Russia, you're already starting to deal with this immigration nonsense in one way or another, and you're having a problem, then you need to contact me so I can put you in contact with the people in the group who can sort of take your problem and turn your problem from something on the internet into like a case file. And from that case file, then they can sort of work on it and try to get you help to actually get that problem resolved, okay? So again, group of people, number one, people who are already here, they're already kind of going through the migration process, and they keep butting heads with something that's not working, some sort of legal paradox, or some sort of headache. Talk to me, I'll listen, and I'll get you in contact with the people in the committee who can then turn your complaint into sort of like a formal request and actually maybe get something done about it, regardless of where you live in Russia. That, I think, my friends, is very, very big news. That is huge. That is going to be a game changer for a lot of people who are here right now, okay? So that's group number one who can be helped by this committee that I'm a player in. But remember, Tim is kind of your Steve Jobs kind of person. I give an amazing speech. I come up with amazing ideas, but I'm not the nitty-gritty person. So I'm going to take your situations and I'm going to pass them on to people who are much better at the nitty-gritty than I am. The Steve Wozniaks, or in Russian, Steve Wozniak. I love the way his name sounds in Russian, Wozniak. But anyways, so the second group of people, now this group of people is probably going to be the much bigger group, and this definitely will involve some people who are interested in American Village. But again, American Village is completely separate from this committee thing. They have no relation to each other. Is the people who are still overseas who want to move to Russia. They are interested in getting to know what is keeping you from doing this. What is keeping you from moving to Russia? Now, I kind of know this. We kind of talked about it. The committee as a whole understands the reason as a whole, but they actually want to get into sort of the specific reasoning of why, gathering a sort of data to come up with the sort of profile of how to best help people, and maybe even help you just in general. Excuse me, I belched there. Please forgive me. That belch knocked me off my rails. But anyways, they're trying to sort of put together this system by which they can actually help people, not just with immigration problems from within Russia, but get this whole process started. Get the boat moving. So for those of you who are in this, I think, much larger group of people who have inquired about moving to Russia, are very curious about coming here, but it's kind of scary. You know, I don't want to meet some random woman online to get married to her to live somewhere, this, that, and the other. Like, there's been something holding you back, okay? Well, now would be the time to write me those private messages. And again, we're going to take from your private message, we're going to kind of turn that into somewhat of a case file for them to start working on that to help you immigrate to here. And you might be saying, Tim, well, you know, dude, you have like thousands of subscribers. What if 10% of the people actually seriously want to move to Russia? Won't you get like 700 messages? Yeah, I will. I told them this, that the amount of people could be quite a lot. And they were like, it's fine. It's no problem. Let's do this thing. So if you are in the much larger group too, and you've wanted to move to Russia, but there's something holding you back, we essentially need to know what's holding you back and how we can get around that. Now, one of you guys is probably thinking, at least one of you is thinking, well, Tim, let's not be dumb. It's the whole work thing. Obviously, Russia is no longer communist. They're not just going to give you a job when you show up here like they would in the olden days. Well, not only would they give you it, they'd make you show up to it. The fun of communism. But anyway, so there's no guaranteed jobs. So what? You know, how can we resolve this? Well, apparently, people within the committee have been, kind of in communication with friendly HR firms. And those friendly HR firms are willing to work for you. Well, of course, they're going to take a little bit of money for themselves, but work for you to help you find that ever so rare job for a foreign person. And the committee also understands that very often it's difficult to hire a foreigner because of the bureaucracy of like the work visas and the law that means they have to hire Russians in the first order, this, that, and the other. Well, there might be ways around that too. So if you are serious and one thing, guys, too, I love you guys. And it's okay to have fantasies. It's okay to have long-range plans. It's okay to think, well, you know, what if I could do something? You know, what if I could do this one thing? Wouldn't it be cool? It's kind of like with me. Let's just say something that's kind of a long-range fantasy of something. I guess I kind of like a pickup truck. It'd be kind of nice to have a pickup truck, but I don't really need it. And, you know, I don't really need it tomorrow. It's kind of just something maybe I'd like to do in the future. And I guess it'd be cool, but if it didn't happen, I mean, it's not the end of the world. Something like that, right? And if that's your attitude towards Russia of like, well, maybe moving there one day would be cool in like a few years, that's fine. But don't write me about that, okay? Don't write to me about that. That's just going to make me sleep even less. Okay, that's great. You're allowed to have fantasies and dreams for the future. It's cool. But if you're in the mode where you're like, I need to buy this darn truck next month. Like if you're already in that mentality where it's like, I'm doing this, and you're over there and you have the problem with the job or the problem with the lack of something that would allow you to get through the immigration quota, or some people have been really sort of hung up on the thing of like, how can I move there without buying a place to live? I'm terrified. You know, I'm going to take my life savings. What if I lose it? Then I'll be homeless in a foreign country. Like whatever these issues are, you got to write them to me and we can create a case file for you and try to go forward and help you out. Of course, I think in simplest bureaucratic terms, group one of people who are sort of already here and are having immigration problems, are going to be probably easier to solve those problems than Group 2 who are not here. But this is the first time ever in all the years that I've been here that the government has ever tried to reach out and help you guys find jobs here. So first off, I'd like to thank Mr. Kuznetsov. I'd like to thank the Fair Russia or Just Russia party, depending on your preferred term, for actually putting this together and doing something. And to be honest, I guess we have to all thank the special military operation, because if that wouldn't have happened, this wouldn't have happened. Like I've told you guys, it might be hard to believe or understand. The special military operation changed everything here. Absolutely everything. I don't know, maybe night and day is a bit extreme, but the weather outside's looking awful bright during the daytime. So anyways, that's kind of my big news. Now I'm going to look, because I see there's some questions. Remember, you can ask a question in written form. Just go to that picture down there that says Telegram live stream starts in 30 minutes. That's in the Tim Kirby Russia Hardcore group. And whatever you write down there, I'm going to be able to see. Or you can use the raise your hand function within this wonderful live stream, and you can raise your hand and talk to me directly if you have some questions about this. So anyways, while I'm waiting for people to raise their hands, let me go down into the the chat, as I refer to it as. Okay. So anyways, is the village still in the works? Oh, so overall about the village, yes, but they have fallen silent. Again, Nathaniel, here's one thing. So maybe that was a good time to actually talk about, because I said the village doesn't really relate to this, but there's a slight relation, because the village as a concept includes foreigners who are already here. And it always did from the beginning, because I know people who had some bad marriages that all fell apart. And they're definitely being like, Tim, man, dude, she kind of threw me out, man. When's this village thing going to happen? I kind of need a new place to live, bro. So there's definitely the Divorced Men's Club there that's very much looking forward to the village. So people who are sort of English-speaking foreigners who are already here are included in this. It's not like a project where you have to come to the village. So if you were to come here and do something else and immigrate, and then the village opens later, you're still welcome. Okay. In fact, one particular family that are, again, I'm never quite sure what to reveal or what not, but one particular family that have already sort of made it here, just got temporary residency, and they want to be part of the village when it eventually happens. So don't worry about that. Now, in terms of what's happening with it, pure silence. The guy who is sort of the lead person within the Moscow state government, who's a fan of it, he was like, Tim, I'll give you an answer next week. It's first half of 2023. First half of 2023, that's when it's going to happen. Trust me, man. Okay, we're already 3 months, 2 months and a little bit into 2023, and I don't see much. And he said he contacted me this week. And so far, no one's contacted me. So again, the village thing is kind of a bit frozen, which is very frustrating. Timur was actually sort of able to communicate with some farmers who are looking to set up something kind of like the village, so we may be able to actually get some farmland involved that's close by. So I don't know, there's a little bit of developments, but overall it is silent. Anyways, we have someone who wants to speak. Babs wants to speak. Hello, Babs. You are on the air in theory. Hello. Do you have your microphone turned on? Going once, Babs. Going twice. Thrice. Sold. Okay. That must have been some mistake. Sometimes people don't know that their microphone isn't turned on. But anyways, so yeah, that's the kind of situation with the village. The project is not canceled. I was told first half of 2023, but they just keep kind of kicking the can down the road. I don't quite understand what is going on. Here, one thing, Tim, how can I private message you? Well, how about this, Victoria? I'm going to send you a private message. Hi. So there you go. Victoria, you have a private message from me that you can respond to. Oh, boy. Ben, what did I miss? Hopefully everyone can tell him. So yeah, because Ben is someone who needs some help, but we've already gotten Ben kind of going with this. So I really hope that Ben is going to be forceful and adamant and make sure that he gets the help he needs. So Ben is sort of already in the pipeline on the conveyor. And Nathaniel, if there was only some sort of collective, a village of sorts for foreigners who want to move there. Yeah, I know. But Nathaniel, I know about this, but with the village, this is sort of a big help thing. So I think they kind of want to start out maybe helping people on an individual case-by-case basis. But trust me, the village is still approved. But you also have to remember that these are sort of two different things. And remember, with politicians, we have this concept of the pork barrel legislation. And so this is the Just or Fair Russia Party, and this is their initiative as part of their Committee on Nationalities and all that stuff. So that's their baby. Whereas the village is the baby of the Moscow regional government. So they're kind of not interlinked, you see. Anyways, Russia Firsthand wants to talk. That's a very good name for a YouTube channel, Russia Firsthand. I should have stolen your name. That's amazing. It's much better than Tim Kirby Russia. Hello, Russia Firsthand.
Can you hear me? Hi.
Yes, I can.
Yeah, hi. This is Jeremy here. I just wanted to ask a question about the issues of the criminal background check. So,
yeah,
I'm just wondering if you have any information about what kind of solutions they foresee as being possible. So, because obviously they can't influence like the Canadian or the American government to speed things up at all. So, what kind of things are maybe foreseen as possible solutions to an issue like that? Because that's an issue I'm going to have coming down the pipe.
All right. So here we go. So solution sort of number one is if you're already here, you said kind of coming down the pipe is in the future. But if you're already here and you're going through this process, then essentially you know, sort of give me the details of your details when you're going through the immigration process. We'll put it into the committee, create the case file for you, and try to get you an exemption. That seems to be what they're doing, is essentially if the sort of local migration authorities get the big order from Moscow that this person is exempt from the necessity to have this, or they're exempt based on date. So, you know, that you still have to have it, but if the date is like really, really off, then it should be okay. But again, this is on a case-by-case basis, and you have to talk to me so I can sort of put you into this process and establish a case for you. Now, what you could do from America is, if it's not too much time and money, would be bring one with you anyways, even if it is old, just so you sort of already have it, is number one. Number two is, I've heard from people that if they say what this criminal background check is for, then the government delays it. If they make it sort of unclear and you mail it to some sort of other country, it happens nearly immediately. Oh. So that's a little bit of trolling from the FBI there. So that's what I've heard. But yeah, so if I were you, now that it seems like there might be a way to get around all this, bring one with you on your way here. So anyways, moving on. Nathaniel says, I can't wait. Godspeed concerning the village. Dude, I can't do, especially if we can build these buildings and stuff, man. Like, if we get to this in like a construction project, not only is this going to give me like YouTube content for the next 5 years, but it's going to help so many people out. It's going to expand my real estate empire. It's going to be something really amazing, and I think that everyone's going to have a real good time with it. So, and I think it's going to be that sort of jumping off point where people can finally sort of come here and have it be sort of a little half Anglo-Saxon world or 1/3 Anglo-Saxon world, sort of in the Russian world, and it'll help people adapt better, I think. Benedict wants to talk. Let's see. Hello, Benedict. You are on the air, and I'm boosting your volume to absolute maximum. Hello. Okay. Does Benedict want to talk? Going once. Going twice. Benedict is off. Uh-oh, this might be trolling. Babs is back, but I don't think Babs wants to talk. Babs, are you there? I'm not going to give you much time this time.
Oh, yes, can you hear me?
God, you are here.
How are you? Just wanted to get your private contact way of talking to you. The story is too long to use the on-air time. One thing I will say, I was born in both Soviet Union. That's all.
Yeah. Well, you were born. If you were born in the Soviet Union and you have documentation on that, you have the right to, submit documents for temporary residency without, having to deal with these immigration quotas or any of that stuff. You essentially have the right to live here already, even if you were a baby.
Understand. Thank you.
Okay. All right. If you, I'll mute you there. If you need to talk to me, is there somewhere that I can send them a message? So anyways, Mr. Babs, unusual name for a man, Mr. Babs, there you go. I just sent you a private message, so if you need to private message me about any of these issues, you can do so. Oh my gosh. So anyways, back to the chat there. Shiva, aren't you the god of destruction? Is there a website that lists jobs that would be willing to hire foreigners with special training? If not, perhaps that's something that could be suggested. Yeah, Shiva, that's something that they're actually working on. And again, why they want to build up this sort of case-based system, I guess for the initial start of work, it works out easier. But again, if someone is really serious and they want to, like in this year of 2023, so this year, okay, they're definitely moving to Russia. They definitely have the means. They want to, and they're looking for a job. Hit me up, private message. We can sort of create this case file for you, and we can get your background, and they can kind of help put you in touch with these HR companies that were willing to comply. So. And maybe they can find you something. Maybe they can't. Maybe they can, maybe they can't. Remember, just because a recruiting office or HR firm says, yeah, we'll find you a job, doesn't mean they can, especially when it's something kind of niche. But who knows? That's their specialty. Their specialty is finding people jobs. That is not my specialty. So there's not much that I can do for you, but they definitely can do a lot more than I can, and probably a lot more than you can from just Google searching from your native country. So, PlayStation 2, God bless Uastriji. I don't know what that is. I'd have to see that one written in the Russian letters there. Let's see. Ben, does that mean I can use my Moldovan birth certificate to apply for temporary residency? Was it a birth certificate in the Soviet Union? That's the key thing. Essentially, you have to be, if you were born in the Soviet Union, so that's 1991 or before, you have the right to submit documents for temporary residency without being considered part of the immigration quota. Okay, but again, Ben, you are already married to a Russian citizen, and you've already started this process. Essentially trying to restart the process over again using documents, the old documents from the Soviet Union. I'm not sure if that would work, but again, it has to be the Soviet Union, and I'm not sure if it would really make a big difference because if you really never had Russian citizenship, that's when things get confusing. I know someone who just sort of came here with old Soviet citizenship, and she didn't have a problem. But again, this is something where you're going to have to talk to Timur. You're going to have to talk to Timur I believe Ben was one of the guys who told me they were very disappointed with an immigration lawyer they used. Talk to Timur. But again, only because some people don't understand this, only if you have a birth certificate from the Soviet Union, not Moldova, the country, is an independent country, the Soviet Union. Then that kind of changes things, possibly. Okay? But yeah, because if you were born in the Soviet Union, that means potentially I think you would still, in theory, have citizenship, but then you'd have Moldovan citizenship from your birth certificate, so that might not really change things very much. That's kind of a nuanced thing where you'll have to talk to Timur. But to be honest, I don't think it'll make a huge difference. Maybe if you were born somewhere on the territory of the Russian Soviet Federation of Socialist Republics, or whatever the hell it was called, that might make a difference, but yeah. Anyways, Nathaniel asks, what about remote working remote for a foreign company in Europe, USA, etc.? Is it possible? Possible. I know people who do it. Get that money paid in Bitcoin, baby. Yeah, anything, people working in crypto, people making really good money and flying there and flying back regularly to drag the money physically. I've been told now that there are some people who have supposedly brought very large sums of money to Russia and not gotten busted for it. So apparently that's something people do. You got your crypto, but I do know people who are still working for Western companies that are in the West from here. Still possible. Definitely not as easy as it used to be. Jake Pritchard asks, hey, Tim, would you ask them to accept concealed carry permits and hazmat commercial driver's license as acceptable background checks, please? They were equivalent to a top secret clearance as you have to clean a record to obtain them. I have both. Okay, Jake, I'm going to be almost certain that they're going to say no to that, but I don't want to let my bias block your possibilities. So in the future, lay this out. So you got to send me like the scans of all the stuff. Send me the scans, and then you have to send me all the American laws that say that you need a background check to get this. So now you can't just like, the Russian government doesn't work in a like friendly way. So essentially, if you're saying that this document A, because it doesn't matter what it is the equivalent of a criminal background check, well, they're going to say, okay, where's the proof? So then you're going to have to provide the proof. They'll get a professional translator to professionally translate with a stamp that proof, and then the person would have to sort of like evaluate it in order to maybe make a special exception. Okay? So you're going to have to send me all that stuff and find the actual laws that confirm what you're saying. All right. So get going on that, Jake. All right. And if you have any other problems, my friend, we've talked many times, let me know because I definitely want to see you in Russia. PlayStation 2, he's saying that's it depends on what kind of work. If it's tech work, it's insanely difficult to find in Russia. Yeah, that's something we're working on here. Ostrigi. Okay, I still don't know what you're referring to, sir. It's from Tiraspol, which is part of Transnistria, and it's in Russian. Yes, but when? Dude, sorry, sir. Are you listening to me? Soviet Union or after the Soviet Union? That's the thing. If it says, 1992 or the present, and there's something there that's written of like the Independent Republic of Transnistria or whatever they refer to themselves as, or Moldova, then it doesn't mean anything. It's not going to help you, and being married to a Russian citizen is what will help you. If it was during the Soviet Union, that sort of opens up this weird thing of you sort of having the right to kind of sort of come back here. Okay? So what's the date on it? Alex, that's what I currently do. Drag the money back and forth. So everyone, Alex, why don't you tell us more about that? How does that process look? Or are you afraid to tell people online? If you're afraid to tell people online, don't do it. 1998, says Ben. Well, then that means nothing. Absolutely nothing. Zero. Zip. Nada. That's useless. Continue on going the way you're going, man, because otherwise it's not going to happen. So that seems to be all the written questions we have for now. Oh, someone's typing. But so anyways, guys, we're going to hit the road here pretty soon. I kind of wanted to maybe break this podcast up into 2 bits because we started talking about money. So let me real quick asked about a business. Where? Horatio asked about a business. I'm not seeing your question, Horatio. Dude, I'm sorry. But anyways, so I'm going to kind of break up this podcast into 2 chunks. So anyways, guys, I hope that this news about the committee served you well. We're going to go over to a completely different topic that might be of interest to you.